Grandma's lime is so good.
So we've been
I
doing
never had one, so what's out there?
a shitload of content over 3 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
Like more than you're probably used to, I would assume.
I was on a tear over the winter.
Well, yeah, but you get stir crazy in it because I know you.
Oh yeah. And I was just like rambling into staring at myself into a phone. It got not weird, but like it was just a regular thing because I was like injured, not training.
Yeah.
I had to do something.
Introspective.
Yeah.
I was expecting one a week.
1 a week is like, as far as I know, recommended. Because it's like, it keeps it steady, it's not, because it's like, to get to the Rogan point of
He does
20 a week.
He does 20.
No, it's like, but he'll record multiples in a day and they're all like 2 to 3 to 4 hours.
Well, yeah, that's like his day job.
But that's the thing,
Yeah.
it's a TV show now, like it's a mainstream show, it's not it didn't start there.
Where is the garbage bag?
It's way over there, but I don't think I'm gonna get to it. Right?
And so I think from the start, it's a good idea to do a it's like anything, it's like the more you do it, the more comfortable you'll get.
It's a muscle. It's like
It's a muscle flex it. I say the same thing about my bone.
Nice.
It's the veiniest part of my body. I'm not going to
And
lie.
as you said, I put meat in my mouth, so we'll see how it goes.
I'm not gay. You're gay.
Right. Not gonna lie, driving over here was an adventure and a half. I forget you're so east. I keep thinking you're like 109th Street. For like my brain just has your house there,
That's
and so I kept driving. I was like, "Fuck! I should have just gotten on the fucking yellowhead."
Yeah, you get on the yellowhead, you go straight down, kick off at 66,
Uh-huh.
and then you're there. It takes like 8 minutes to get to your house.
Oh yeah, no, that would have been the smart way to go, rather than going down 127th to 118th and then trying to scoot east all the way through downtown.
Yeah, you made a mistake.
Yeah, I did. I made a big one. And as soon as I got to, like, the Earls by Londonderry, or Kingsway, I just looked at the road in front of me. I was like, I fucked up so bad.
I was wondering why you texted me to ask what my address was. I was like, dude, you know where I live.
I do. I just didn't want to miss the street. I was like, I can't remember what street it was. And then I turn up your street, and there's 2 ambulances and a fire truck.
Are they over there at the apartment?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. So
That's the thing.
when people come here for like the first time, 9 times out of 10 they're like, yeah, I had a hard time getting in here because there's like some police over there. It was like on the corner at the apartment. They're like, yeah. I came home for lunch one day. And the cops had the entire street blocked off. And I was like, hey, can I get to my house? You're parked right in front of my place. And they're like, which one's yours? I was like, and my Pontiac was parked out front. And I was like, it's the one with the teal muscle car in front of it. I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, it shouldn't be too long. I was like, all right, what are you guys doing? He's like, I can't tell you. I can't tell you what we're doing. I was like, okay. And they had 2 like Mercedes Sprinter vans.
Bitch, I don't land here. You can
Right?
tell me what the fuck's going on.
2 Mercedes Sprinter vans, and one of them was unloading a fucking robot. And I was like, yo, bomb threat? Yo. But he wouldn't tell me. And I was like, all right, can I like park up in my driveway? He's like, where's your driveway? I was like, it's around back. He's like, oh yeah, we don't have the alley closed. I was like, hold on. I'm like having like a mental breakdown of like, wait a second. You can close the entire front street, but the back street, 25 feet the other side, is okay? I mean, that's safe?
Yeah, totally.
I mean, the bomb's only going to go like 10 feet. I mean, you're fine.
It's more like the exit point for the guy.
Yeah.
So we were talking earlier today about, I was thinking about shop safety. Especially because the air fucking quality in Edmonton right now is cancer, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, speaking of
That'll
shop
change
safety,
a lot. Ooh.
I did that moving this chair.
Yeah,
Yep.
setting up.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. My
But
tetanus is up to date.
I actually need to go get a tetanus shot.
You should.
I really, no, like, legitimately, it's one of those things I forget that I need, and it's been a fucking hot minute.
Rest
Well,
of
it's
metal
10
all day,
years,
right?
man.
Yeah.
You aren't as bad as me. Well,
No.
I mean, you cut yourself like a fucking crazy person.
That's fair.
But
You're really,
adorable.
Lincoln the dog is really wanting one of these pepperoni sticks.
So
They are very delicious.
Yes, I'm sure you do. But I was thinking of an interesting exchange because, like, the lady that runs the gym, she was genuinely kind of checking in on me, being like, Yeah, like how's the new shop? Like, are you using masks and all of that stuff?
I've only ever worked at one other shop. I know you've worked at a few.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever had a boss come up to you and say, "I'm gonna set you up with a brand new hood. I'm gonna bring in some demo guns for you." Does that happen regularly?
So this is what I wanted to get into. Was kind of the shift over from where I was to where I've landed.
Also, I saw your Instagram story today.
Mm-hmm.
Where you're like, new digs,
Yeah.
fucking dope, because you were going through all those like metal flakes, and I knew that you would get along so well with Pat.
Yeah.
Because Pat is just like, he's got that like.
Oh, you're fine.
Oh.
I know. Life is so hard. You can't have pepperoni.
Yeah.
Look at all these pets you're getting.
No.
instead. Look at all the pets you're getting.
Yeah.
Isn't that way better?
Yeah. Well, he was like, oh, I got some stuff you'll like, because he just saw me looking through, like, one of my color catalogs.
Yeah.
He was like, oh, I got some stuff you'd like. And I was like, okay. And I'd seen them down there. I was like, all right, cool. He's got a bunch of metal flake.
Yeah.
Duh. But it is on a level where, like, I haven't worked with custom guys in so long.
Well, yeah. So when Pat opened his doors,
Yeah.
he was the chop shop,
For sure.
and he opened in I think in 03, and that's all he did. He went from heavy production to doing straight custom work.
Yeah.
Until that started getting money from guys in the city for that is it's like pulling teeth. And
Oh, it's really
not,
hard.
Yeah, not in the good way.
Mm-mm.
There's a good way.
Well, yeah. Have you ever seen Little Shop of Horrors? I mean,
But, like, there's an element to... Because there's always, like, that fork in the road of collision and high-end in many ways, but high-end custom, or, like, high-end luxury or whatever.
Yeah.
And those two have always kind of been the split. I've always been more on the collision side. And, like, my last shop, the air filter just for the line into the booth was rusted shut for the last 10 months. Like, I couldn't even change the desiccant beads, let alone getting a fresh air. The fresh air they had is like some fucking pawn shop throw together.
Yeah.
There's a hose running out the outside and you just breathe outside air in, and it was like dual hose system, so I'm tripping on everything. And I was like, yeah, can we bring in this SATA fucking thing? So I was like, we need the new filters for the booth anyway.
yeah.
Because we got to either replace the DeVilbiss setup or get the SATA setup.
Yeah.
One of the two.
Yeah.
I'm like, may as well get the SATA one and then kind of get the hood. Same thing. And it was like, no, like within, 4 days of me being there, the new hood showed up?
Yeah.
Like, not even.
Yeah.
I was like, I've been asking for one of these for a fucking year and a half.
Yeah.
And nothing.
Yeah.
They bought $60,000 worth of welders for aluminum and like...
Yeah, how many aluminum trucks did you guys
None.
do?
They didn't move. They collected dust.
Yeah.
And so, like, that's been refreshing for sure.
Yeah.
To say the least.
Yeah, and I
It
mean,
makes you feel human for a change, which is nice.
yeah, you're not just a product that somebody's using. You're an actual employee and a colleague.
Yeah.
Oh, Lincoln.
I know.
Hey, hello. Yeah, well, like when Pat decided to hire you, he wanted to make sure that booth was like immaculate by the time he
Oh
got
man,
there.
he like, yeah.
Like we cleaned it out, like we just made sure, because he's like new person, new standards.
Oh, I could tell. He was like, when I rolled in, I got a little nervous. I was like, yo, this dude is like 110 miles an hour. I'm like, I'm not this. And he's since settled in a bit, but I get the aspect of me taking his spot,
Yes.
which is a giant thing.
Yeah. Oh,
And-
you've owned your own business for 16 years.
Mm-hmm.
17, however many years. You've owned your own business where the backbone of your business is yourself being a painter. Plus, you were the head painter at a high production shop for 10 years prior to that.
Mhm.
How do you let that go? How do you bring somebody else in and run your business from the business end and let somebody take over the thing that you know and you grew your business on? Like, how do you do that?
And in any shop, the painter tends to kind of be the quarterback of the shop.
Yeah.
Like, you touch every car or most of the cars in there. We're a smaller shop, so like it's more hands-on in general.
Yep.
But paint is the thing that everyone pays attention to. It's kind of there's a reason we're all divas, because everyone pays attention to the work, and you're just kind of the celebrity, not the celebrity of the shop, but like
you're the
main
final
player.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You're the final aspect. Yeah.
I thought
And-
Pat was gonna breathe down your neck a lot more than it is, but he's really like step back.
It's probably because knowing Chris before this,
Yeah.
and
Relax, you're not getting any pepperoni.
Anyway, come sit right back.
He's very touchy, but like in a way
He's
of
particular.
yeah, he's like, I know this works.
Yeah.
So this is what works. And coming into a shop where it is a different setup of a booth and all of that kind of thing, it's like,
Well,
I need to know that information. Like, that's how it works.
well, I mean, he knows it's so crazy. He knew, like, the other product line, like, through and through, and reps would come through, like, the old reps would come through and be like, yeah, you can't do that with this. And he's like, all mad scientist, this motherfucker. He's like, watch me put a little bit of magic on this. And then he'd make things work because he just, he knew how to push it, he knew where he could push it, and he would make it work for the situation at hand.
Yeah.
And he was really good that way. And, you know, I think I want to say I told you this.
Probably, we talk a lot.
It's true. It was either you or Michelle, but like when somebody asked me like how I think Pat's gonna react like once Chad settles in, and I was like, I think honestly it'll be kind of similar to when I started, and he saw what I could do and he saw what I could produce. He didn't have to be hands on anymore.
Yeah.
He could just like step away and be like, okay, he's gonna take care of it. He's gonna do it, and it'll be okay.
Yeah.
Like I still go to him and be like, hey, what do you think about this? He's like, let's try it this way.
Yeah.
And we'll kind of bounce ideas back and forth.
This is how a partnership works.
Exactly, yeah. And I think, you know, after a few months, once everything kind of settles in and you're finally, like, more comfortable with the line and understand where your boundaries are with the paint line itself and the products that you're using on a daily basis, I think you're going to slowly see him step away from more and more.
And for, like, I've been a BASF sprayer for
Your entire
90% of my career. Like, I've dabbled in other paint lines, but if you want to talk about, like, mad scientist thing, I can work that RM. Like, that RM line is my bitch.
Yeah, I know.
Like, to the point that
I've seen the shit that you've pulled in the RM, and I'm just like, you should, because I shot RM when I was an apprentice. The last shop that I worked at was straight RM. Yeah. And even you came through and, like, you... a guest sprayer.
Yes, of course. I was a guest sprayer.
Yeah. And
that sounds erotic.
But, like, even since then, like, it's gotten exponential, where it was just obviously thousands of hours on the bench, but it was to the point that certain color codes, I would just start pulling tinters out of the mix because I knew what needed to come out. Like, just through the tinting experience, I was like, oh, this comes out, this gets added in, go.
That's exactly the same thing with Pat. Like, he'll look at it, and he's like, meh, 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 and he'll come out and be like, oh, man, that spray out fine, it looks awesome. He's like, yeah, I had to, like, there was so much ochre in here. I had to, like, put in blah, blah, blah to dilute the ochre. And I was like, what is fucking ochre?
Right? It's yellow.
It's like yellow-brown, right? Yeah,
it's like
a baby shit brown.
Basically.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Like a dirty school bus yellow.
Okay,
is ochre.
I'll give you that.
It's diarrhea yellow.
Yes.
And that's
I had too much chutney yellow.
It's the frustration of changing lines, and it's like changing anything where it's the mechanics are the same, the process is similar, there's finicky things and detail things that are going to change, and until I think it's going to be a bit longer of a stretch just because
it's so different from the RM.
Yeah.
Like, it's a big change.
It's a world different.
Because the RM that you shot was, it was a semi...
So it was a solvent-based paint that had a water...
Semi-water, right?
Yeah, it was a water-based additive that kicked it over into water. So that whole Onyx line was like it was a solvent-based with a water kind
additive
of molecule
to make
it.
VOC compliant.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then they brought out their low VOC solvent line, which I basically sprayed exclusively for the last 5 years.
Yeah, but the stuff we shoot now is straight water.
Pure water, which is a whole other barrel of fish.
Yeah.
And even different than the RM water-esque line. So, no, it's been interesting and fun and cool. Like, even just Pat will just jump in, like, whatever, he was spraying that accurate bumper, where it was like I was working on the cord or whatever, and I'm doing a bit of body work, and then I just turn around and he's in the booth, and I was like, oh yeah, because I can just, cool, all right.
Yeah, and he said to me, I was like, how are things going? He's like, it's so weird. I was like, what do you mean it's weird? He's like, well, I sat in the office and I wrote estimates for 4 hours, and I got paperwork done, and I came out, and 2 cars got painted.
Yeah.
Which never would have happened before.
Yeah,
like, he would have been...
do it and then come back.
Yeah, and he would have been at the shop till, like, 11 painting, or he would have been at the shop, like he would have stopped his afternoon and painted, and then been at the shop till 7 writing estimates.
Yeah.
You know, and the dynamic of the shop has changed so much since you started with us, and
It's a big healthy shift is the way I
it,
describe it.
very healthy. Yeah, like I don't feel like things are bottlenecking. He's right there.
Yeah, got it.
I don't feel like things are bottlenecking as much. I mean, shit still goes wrong. Obviously, that journey was,
It's gonna happen.
things get missed, whatever. We find a way to work around
That's
it.
the
It's
job,
still got
though.
painted.
Yeah.
Still got painted. It's gonna go on Monday.
Yeah.
Like, whatever.
And I mean, we're never like you can run perfect for only so long.
Oh, I know, right?
Like that's just the way that the job goes.
Yeah.
Been at it long enough to know that, but no, it's been kind of cool because even when she was bringing it up, my usual response to like, oh, are you using a paint mask? Is I'm like, well, I use a charcoal mask. It's good enough, but it doesn't actually catch everything that's needed
It
to
doesn't.
be. Like,
The other thing too about the charcoal is your eyes aren't protected.
no.
You know,
I would wear goggles from time to time and stuff, but
I can't wear them with charcoal masks.
Yeah.
I've got like a short face. I don't know. Like the mask sits up real high
See?
over the bridge of my nose, and then
Little pug leg.
I found these goggles from a certain company that work fucking unreal.
I have a charcoal like face respirator, which I've had to use a few times, but oh my god, it's like sticking your head in a garbage bag. It's so uncomfortable.
Oh yeah. Well, that's why I like the fresh air hood in the booth, especially in the summer, because it's like it's nice and cool, and I'm like, ooh, air conditioning. I really want to use some of that fucking chameleon paint and spray it. Like
That,
so
like,
bad.
$2,000
Yeah.
shit. Fuck me. Do you still have it?
Yeah, there's still some up there.
Yeah.
Whatever he poured off is still there. What's his name? The sales guy took the rest. But
Yeah.
there's still some in there. Do that with like some gold flake and shit.
There was so much flip to that color.
Dude, it's
it was
ridiculous.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Because I went in on a Saturday and I worked, and that bike was still hanging up in the rafters, or in the paint booth, and
You got a friend.
he's over there. So, and I only had the shop lights on, so it was just like the light coming through the booth from the shop lights, and as I'm walking around it, it's just like it's
So cool.
3, 4, 5 different colors, and I was just like, it was really, really, really just like hard to keep your eyes off of it.
Oh yeah.
And I've never liked chameleon paint. I always thought it was such a gimmick, but
It is.
It works so good on that bike.
A bike is the way to go with it.
Yeah, and so I guess you wouldn't have seen it, but it had like the spokes that were on it because it was a BMX. The spokes that were on it, each single spoke was a different color. So
Cool.
the spokes, it was like blue, pink, silver, violet, blue, pink, silver, violet. So it was like all the intersecting colors and a green. Sorry. So it was all the colors that were in the flip of that chameleon paint were in individual spokes on them, and it looked so awesome. So I actually should ask him if he's got pictures of it now, since it's
He
been put
should
together.
somewhere.
Well, because it was for a guy that he knows, kid.
Yeah.
So the dad broke it down and brought it in, and we painted it. So I want to see if they put it together.
Yeah.
Like pictures of it
That's fair.
assembled. Yeah.
That's fair. I have a question for you, Corey.
Always.
No license.
Mhm.
Film degree.
Mhm.
You said you weren't really a car guy.
No.
How do you end up at a body shop?
Right?
Like, genuinely.
Yeah.
It goes against everything that is
As
the
a
trade.
detailer.
Yes.
Yeah, so like I was doing theater for quite some time. And
Obviously.
yeah.
Big fancy camera.
Yeah. A
and-
very fancy
I
camera.
walked in, I was like, oh shit, there's like some CTV stuff.
Yeah, that's more or less what it is.
Yeah.
So yeah, then I kind of burned out real hard doing theater, like I just the hours, and I was also managing a warehouse at the same time. So I was manager, and then straight after manager, like it'd be 4 o'clock, I'd go straight into be at the next job by 5 o'clock, be done by like 2 in the morning.
Nice.
So that was my life.
Yep.
Like wake up, right.
I could see the burnout.
Yeah, so I burned out hard. And how I knew is I was handed this script, like I was working with the director, she's like, hey, we're going to work on the script, and it was just...
Those are my fingers. That's not food.
Still good. And yeah, I looked at the script and I was like, I have nothing to give. I was like, I have nothing to give this project. I think it's a good project. I'm going to hold it back. So then that night, quit being a producer. I quit my other job. And then I was like, okay, well, what's next? I was like, I'm obviously burned out in theater. I didn't want to manage anymore. So then I started teaching myself programming. I was like, okay, then maybe the next step will be game design. Like that's always been a passion.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I didn't work for like 3 months and just like studied and did that, and that was basically put myself not through school because I'm not actually educated.
Go
But
lay down.
Yeah.
Go.
you know,
Yeah.
Oh,
But-
yeah. Throwback to yesterday's conversation
right.
about degrees.
Yes.
Yes.
Qualifications.
Go lay down.
And then I was like, shit, I got a mortgage to pay.
Go lay down.
Right.
And then,
That mortgage is a motherfucker,
Yeah.
by the way.
It really is.
They really fine print you into that one.
Right. So then Michelle offered me the job probably like 6 months before I actually like took it. She's like, hey, like we need a detailer. I was like, do you want? I was like, kinda. I was like, let me see what I can do, and then like so then I kept studying and kept like putting it off, and then she offered to me again, and then I was like, well, what are the hours? What are the hours like?
Mhm.
And she's like, you'll probably be home like 5, 6. And I was like, whoa, that works. Yeah, and then I hopped in, and it's just
Fair.
it's a job.
All right.
And then I stuck around for people because I gave myself a year.
Yeah.
I was like a year, and then I'll go get an office job because I actually like system mechanics and office, and just it's something I'm really passionate about.
Mhm.
And I was like, I give myself 1 year, and then I do that. And then right around the 1 year mark, Patrick's like, hey, how do you feel moving into the office
Mhm.
and doing all that work? And so yeah, then he hooked me, and I was like, all right, well, I'll stick around and I'll do that.
Fair.
Yeah, I mean, you've seen the people that you work with,
Mhm.
and you even said your words were, you've had more fun in the last couple of weeks working with us than the last few years
Oh, yeah.
working at, or even conversations you've had with us in the last few years with your other shop. And
No, I was at the point where I was going in. I was in like 2 hours late. Basically dog fuck till lunch. Go train for an hour and a half, and then I'd start working at like 2.
I remember seeing like your story. It's like mortgage job. What was
Yeah.
it? Hashtag mortgage job or some shit like that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember what it was. But you would go in at like 11 o'clock on a Thursday and
Mhm.
spray stuff. Like 11 p.m.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Or you would go in on a Saturday night and you would paint things.
Mhm.
Just like, hey, dude, during the week, man.
Right. Nothing.
Nothing.
Basically, be on Instagram.
Well, it's not like that's changed.
And no, it really hasn't.
I still see you working.
Yes.
Which I appreciate.
Yes. No, and like, it's the difficulty being a painter is there is a lot of downtime,
Yeah.
and so like everyone's like, "How are you doing?" I'm like, "Because I literally have to watch paint dry." Like
Yeah.
there's sections of my day where I'm in a paint suit, so I can't really be doing much else because you get dirty,
Mhm.
and I got 15 minutes to wait or 8 to 10 minutes to wait. Like there's downtime at which point, yeah, I'll throw something up on Instagram or I'll like whatever I can move, like I'll whatever tidy up or that kind of thing. But like
The normal shop stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
there's only so much of that you can do.
Yeah, before you're done doing it.
For
Because
sure.
it's an hour and a half or 2 hour task.
Yeah.
That you would do. You do it intermittently 3 times a day. You're
Definitely.
done.
No, it's definitely been a nice change of pace, and like just the age group of the shop coming down. 'Cause even Pat isn't that old.
No,
No.
it's really not.
Like
He's Tim's age.
Yeah, it's not that big of a gap. So
It's really not. And it's so funny because we all have like very similar tastes in film and cars and stuff like that. And
Mhm.
you to look at that, you would never expect him to be the age that he is. And
no.
to talk to him,
Goddamn
especially. Yeah. Michelle maintains that he might be a vampire.
Yeah.
I can see it. I could see him being born in like the
Okay.
1700s.
Yeah. Yeah, like that picture of Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But-
Watch your head. Watch your head.
Because the industry is like, I'm just looking around at the city constantly being like, I think it's dying.
In the city,
Like, yeah.
it's
just-
growing, but
Oh,
it
it's-
doesn't mean that it's alive.
But that's the thing. I'm like, everyone's fighting on, like, this last election, I know you're not a political guy, but like, it told me everything I needed to know about who had money where.
Yeah.
Like, that's all that election was.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
like, yo, I got oil money, I'm putting in the conservatives, or like,
For sure.
I'm banking on
Yeah.
like liberal rights for all kind of things. I'm going NDP, or I want more in my weed stock, so here go the liberal. Like it was
Yeah.
just this very obvious. Everyone was voting along monetary lines.
Oh,
Yeah,
for sure.
and it's weird.
And it's not like that's not a common thing. It's an extremely common thing.
Oh,
It's
for
just
sure.
Never
this
been
was-
that obvious.
No, it's so obvious now. Go.
But it was like
Lay down, buddy.
in viewing that and just seeing kind of where everyone via social media or just whatever craziness. Or, like I've seen more "fuck Trudeau" stickers on vehicles, where I'm just like, all right, so we're just caution of the wind, not giving a shit now, huh?
I understand being mad, but how are you so mad to commit to a sticker on your car?
Right?
I can't even commit to putting like.
Especially what happens next Prime Minister.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your sticker's useless now. Way to go.
Well, I mean, it still holds up.
Yeah, I
But,
guess so.
you know, you're always gonna hate Trudeau even if he's not in power, right? But that's the thing. Look, I can't stand to deface a car. Period.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't stand. I couldn't go as far to be like, I am so mad. Stickers.
Right.
That'll show one person on the other side of the country what I think and who he is.
Every time I see one of those, I'm just like, we're never gonna get along. Like, that's just a human being I'm not gonna get along with in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't even really like Harper, but if I saw somebody with like a fuck Harper sticker, I'd be like, come on, dude.
Yeah. like I've voted for literally every party this country has. At least at one point. Yeah, like it's depending on what the election is. I'm like, well, this party makes sense. This
What
party
about
makes
the
sense.
Communist Party?
Maybe I have, maybe I haven't. No.
Socialism?
No, it's like, whatever. It's a liberal, conservative, NDP, whatever the fuck the fourth one falls in and out of. Like, those are your kind of three choices.
Yeah.
And so at different points in
those
time.
are the big three.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At different points in time, they've all made sense to me in different ways. Where it's like,
agreed.
like, yeah. And so I've never.
That's the problem with politics.
Well, we've talked
Especially
about.
Canadian politics, because they're all so close ideologically.
Yeah, and you know, I can't like speak intelligently about politics because I don't know enough about it. But it's so frustrating to see all of that go down.
The loyalty to a party line or a team line or even a product line, if you want to go back to like the trade.
Yeah.
Where it's like we're talking about me being an RM painter forever, and then I switch over to Exalted now.
It's hard to move
like,
away from something you know so well.
Exactly, but I've never been I'm deathly loyal to like 5 people maybe. Other than that, I'm like, I will flip flop, change my mind, reassess, reevaluate. Like, I don't understand how you're just a hardwired conservative voter. How you're so pigeonholed in an ideology, and that like translates even to like my jiu-jitsu stuff, where it's like you've got people that just bleed for a team, and like that's what I love so much about that 10th Planet brand, where it's like we rep hard.
You have it. You literally have it all over you.
Like literally, it's inked in my hands.
Yeah, you have it all over you.
But that comes with the open door policies of we learn from everyone.
It's fucking
like I know they're starting to tribe. And like across the board, you get a lot of like you get certain schools that are like, no, I'm with this team and this team only, and like we don't even train with other schools, and it's like, how are you gonna get better? Like, how are you
gonna learn things that your school's not teaching?
Yeah. I said, I told Pat when he first told me that he was looking for a painter.
Concerned?
He was looking right at me. I told
we have wasps flying around the garage right now.
Yeah, they're fucking
for the audio listeners.
Fucking with me. One just went out the door.
Nice.
I told Pat, I was like, yeah, I know a guy. He might be willing to move.
Mm-hmm.
He might be looking for a new space, whatever. He's like, yeah? What does he shoot? I was like, well, he shoots RM, and he's always shot RM, and he's kind of looking towards maybe transitioning into a rep position. He's like, I was like, what's that? He's like, no good rep should only know one paint line. And it's not that he said it with a little bit of disdain in his voice, because I know him so well, but he also said it like half-heartedly under his breath. Yeah. And then 4 months later, we're getting rid of somebody, and I texted you out of the blue to wish you a happy birthday, and you're like, yeah, we should hang out. I got all this free time. I just got laid off. Why aren't you here working for me right now? Bust a move, son.
Totally. Well, it was like, even the way that I got like laid off was really fucked up. Because like I'd been with that company since I was 19 or 20, I want to say.
Oh, my Faja is calling me.
Ooh. Taking it?
Yeah, I gotta talk to Dad.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. I think he needs me to mount his tires for him. Hello?
But yeah, it was like,
Hey, how's it going?
I'm gonna have to retell this when he comes back. Motherfucker. Because it's like a super fun, like, okay, so he knows a lot of this, but like I was with the same company on and off, since I was like 19.
Yeah.
And I had to really come up under them. They were really cool about, like, having me venture out to other shops to get more experience, to come back. And
Yep.
it was always a very business first kind of environment rather than, like, people first. But when you're making money hand over fist, no one really gives a shit. And then
Exactly right.
I was away at another shop, and then they lost a giant contract.
Oh shit.
Because when TD started pulling, because TD had that, I really think it has to do with that W5 thing they got
Yeah.
thrown up in Ontario or whatever, and everyone freaked out, and insurance companies locked right up. And then TD pulled all their contracts from all the local / non-national chains, and that was one of them, and it was like 80% of the work share.
Yeah, because even Pat doesn't even see a lot of TD.
Yeah. So TD is actually going to those like TD exclusive shops now.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, well, it's gonna fall apart at some point, and it's a matter of who's got the money to hold out. And it was just one of those, like, the faucet just got not turned off, but the water supply just went empty. And you can tell everyone's scrambling, and everyone's trying to franchise, and everyone's starting to add these, like, hyper efficient methods, and we're working super skinny, and, like, they had the material guys come in, or like the sales reps, and they're like, yeah, they're wanting to, like, really thin out the materials and stuff. I'm like, I can't work any thinner than I already do. Like, I already thinned this shop out.
Yeah.
And the guys knew it. He's like, yeah, this shop won't change much. He's like, you can't work thinner than this. Because, like, every year they're like, man, our product's gone way low. Our product's gone way low. And it was just me trying to be more efficient, right? It wasn't a matter of, like...
And at that point, the customer's going to start noticing, too.
For sure.
Yeah.
And with that, it was just this scramble of... They started laying off, like, secretaries, and I could see... It was just one of those, like, I'm like, they're dumping salary. And everyone's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, they're dumping fucking salary, because when you're not making money, you need to get labor off the books. That's the play in business.
Right.
And you can't dump the techs, so you dump the one that is just answering phones and booking, because the estimators can do that, too.
Yeah, that's when you know a company's going down.
Uh-huh.
You start hitting those ones.
And it's like... It was so frustrating to have put in... Not just that much time, but like...
It's a lot of years.
It's a lot of years, it's a lot of hours, and... Obviously, a few discussions we've had, it's like, no, I've kind of been... Life hasn't always treated me fairly, nor do I expect it to, but... There's elements of like... What's the point of putting in the work if that's just, don't let the door hit you on the way out kind of thing.
Especially when, like, life is kicking that hard, you're kind of still hoping that work's not going to kick you as well.
And it just, and it's like, alright, cool. Like, and obviously I wasn't motivated here. Like, I was genuinely not motivated because the money fell apart. And so it was a matter of, like, even the days weren't full days. So I was like, why aren't you working hard? I'm like, so I've got 3 hours of work to do. I don't really have anywhere else I need to be, so I'm not really going to bust ass. Like, I can't care.
Might as well make those 3 hours last a little more so you can get a little more money, right?
For sure, and like, especially with flat rate, because it doesn't matter as long, like, whatever the job is just what you're gonna make.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
so
you're on flat rate.
Yeah, I was flat rate. And so when the shop's dead, it is a matter of like, all right, there's just this much to make. Versus when there's like 12 cars in the back, everyone's hustling and bustling because all that money's just sitting there. Yeah. And so like straight time, like I've worked in other straight time shops before, so it's not unfamiliar. But like that switch over from that flat rate piece work to straight time is a genuine, like, I've had to really work on gearing down. So there's a few days where I'm like really sped up and I'm flying through everything and I'm like, I don't have to. Like, it's a real kind of thing. Whoops.
Way to go.
But
breaking shit in here.
yeah, when because near the end, like obviously it was psych ward and meds, and then like the sedatives at night keep me pretty sleep through alarmish. But they pulled me into the office and they were basically like, we need you here at 8 a.m. I was like, no you don't. Like, this is not how this shit works, but fine. And then we had a talk and they were like, well, what can you do? And I was like, I can't guarantee I'm going to be in here because there's no way I can guarantee that, but I'm like, I'm willing to listen to options. And they're like, well, we can have you like float around to the different locations, fill in for vacation time over the summer. Like, that's a thing that we'd like to do. Like, it's a thing that's on the table. And I was like, all right, cool. I'm like, I'm down for that. It's a little bit more activity during the day to probably keep me a little more stimulated. All good. boss then comes in 6 days later and is like, yeah, that's not actually an option, and the easiest way to do this is just to lay you off. I was like, so you guys offer up a job to me that I agreed to that wasn't actually on the table to just fire me. Like, that's actually how this whole thing fucking ends.
Yeah, that's bull.
I'm like, okay, cool, bye, fuck you. Like, it was just baffling to me.
Yeah.
And so it has been a rather pleasant landing spot in a lot of ways that way.
It was kind of almost serendipitous.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
So we were here sitting talking, you're like, literally any time. You can come meet my boss.
Yeah. I told you that on more than one occasion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just come through. And you even said to me, yeah, I kind of want to see your spot, just to see where you're at and what you do. And I remember you calling me on like a Thursday, like, hey man, we need to get together and talk about work. Because you and I had talked about a couple of like little projects.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, maybe he wants to do this project.
For sure.
And then we sat down at the brew house
Yeah,
and we
yeah.
were just like, so what's the deal with your shop?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, really?
I remember you sat, you're like, hey, what's up? And I was like, hey, your shop. You're like, oh,
Yeah.
I need a beer. Like, you perked right the fuck up.
I did. Yeah.
And it's been like a really long time since I've worked with a friend, is the other thing. Where it's like, that's a huge thing.
It's huge.
And just the ability to, like, I threw a fucking cardboard tube at you and cracked you in the ear yesterday.
Oh.
And I was like, shit, my bad. But, like...
Did he get you good?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
he,
was
like-
pretty good.
I was like, I had my head down, I was working on that stupid journey, and he just like whipped it, and it nailed me like pointy end, like right in the top of the ear. And I was like, what the fuck? Oh! I was like, I wanted to be mad, but then I caught him in the corner, he was like, he was like, I can't play! I can't play!
I'm like, this is why we can't have nice things. They just break stuff.
Because I thought it was Duncan. I thought Duncan just like, because he...
If Duncan was there, I would have blamed it on him instantly.
Yeah.
Like, whoever else would have been there. I'm like, no, it's them.
Yeah. And then I would have known it was you. But
Right.
Duncan like hauls off and like whips shit at me on purpose. To,
Oh, yeah.
like, not just because I'll like toss whatever
Mhm.
and wherever it lands, it lands. But he like purposely whips shit.
Yeah, he
at
goes
me.
out for blood.
He goes for blood, and it annoys the crap out of me because I'll get like nailed in the back of the head with something when I'm frustrated, and it sets me off. And then I'm like, oh, now I'm that guy that's yelling because I got a tape ball in the back of the head, but I also cut my thumb,
Yeah.
and I lost my screw. What the fuck? And like, yeah, because Tim and I used to play like that. We used to have this bit. We would take
I
like,
fucked up so bad not coming there, by the way. In some way, shape, or form.
yeah,
Like that. Oh,
it probably would have gotten out of hand.
it really would have.
I mean, it was already out of hand, but it
Yeah.
would have gotten more out of hand. We used to do this thing with absorbers, like the big styrofoam ones. And we would just be like, he'd be doing something, and I'd be like, hoi! And I would fucking nail him with one. And it got to the point where, like, his stall was like, so my stall would be where, like, the wall was,
Mhm.
and then his stall would start where this wall was. So we had, like, probably, like, 15 to 20 feet between the two of us, and I would have a car up in the air, and he would be, like, laying on the floor, taking, like, a rocker off or something, or, like, undoing, like, a fender bolt on the bottom. And I would just, like, I would see him. Hoi! And I would see him just, like... And then I would just be, like, laughing my ass off. And I remember it all came to a point one time where I fucking javelined one across the shop,
God.
and it nailed the Jetta in the quarter panel, like a freshly painted black Jetta.
Yeah.
I was like, ooh.
Probably stops that.
I was like, there's actual scratches. And I had to call the painter. I was like, yo, we need to polish this quarter, man. And we had this awesome Vietnamese painter. His name was Fat. I was like, Fat. With the old Italian guy that used to work there called him Chico. I have no idea why.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right.
I was like, Fat, we gotta polish this quarter, man. He's like, what happened? And I'm like, yo, I threw an absorber. I javelined it.
Yeah.
I missed. He's like, I got you. I
Yeah.
got you. And yeah, he like fucking an hour of polishing later, and it was good. I was like, oh, thank God.
Right. No, it's... I remember... Have you ever heard stories about Billy? From her... Like, he worked at Herbert's with me and Tim. Way back in the day. I love that we've, like, for, like, 4 straight shows, just been rambling about Tim. Like, the Tim episode is going to build to this triumphant thing where he's just
It's gonna be so anticlimactic. Yeah, it's gonna be another video episode for sure.
Totally.
Yeah, but like...
No, Tim has to be on video. Like, there's
Oh,
no
yeah.
other way to experience Tim other than on video.
Yeah, but yeah.
Oh. I love him so much.
Yeah.
Like, I always say, he's one of those friends where I'm like, we're cool and we're always gonna be cool.
Yeah.
We just don't see each other for like 8 months at a time, and then when we do, it's like nothing changed. We catch up,
Yeah.
tap all the fucking boxes, and then it's
Yep.
another 6 months.
Yeah.
And that's the way, like, I kind of like friendships that way.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
I
when
do
you're
like
hanging
that.
out, it's awesome. You want to hang out with them lots more, but, like, sometimes you just drift apart for a while. You come
Yeah.
back, you
Yeah.
check in.
Well, and when he started having his kids, that's when it really forked off, because it was
Oh,
just
yeah.
like, there's only so many hours.
Yeah.
My life was getting pretty fucking chaotic as far as like training and fighting and
Yeah.
nightlife and all that stuff, and it was just like, there's no way that the lives
It's
would have
true.
worked together.
It changed a lot for me. Well, like, one, after he had his kids, and two, when we stopped working together.
Mhm.
You know, because our relation, our like, friendship dynamic is very similar to, like, mine and Tim's.
Yeah.
Except that instead of you working right beside me, you're on the other side of the shop,
Yeah.
and you'll come over when you're on downtime, right?
Mhm.
So that dynamic changed, but it was like, it feels the exact same because you, me, and Tim are very,
yeah.
very symbiotic in,
Oh, yeah.
in that kind of humor and lifestyle, and as a whole, very, very similar people. So it worked out really, really well. And it sucks that we don't see him as much, but yeah,
It's been cool to see him mature that way, because like,
he's such an adult now. It sucks.
when I met him, so he was like, he had just gotten the RSX. Like, it was like months before I met him. Like, it was
Yeah.
brand fucking new.
Yeah.
And he rolls in, like, I'm working at Herber's, I'm in the
Dude.
wash rack.
That car with he had those like really, really dope 18-inch end keys.
Mm-hmm.
That car with those end keys and that carbon hood on it.
Yep.
Just like,
Oh no, he killed it.
he killed it.
Absolutely killed it. But like, I'm 18, working in this shop, and I'm in the wash rack, miserable, and everyone's like, yo, Tim's coming back. And I'm like, who's Tim? They're like, no, you're gonna like Tim a lot. I'm like, alright, cool. And he shows up, his like Mac toolbox gets dropped off, and all you hear is like,
I
and
remember
parks.
when
I'm
you
like,
put the
fuck?
silencer back in.
Right? That car got so fucking
I
loud.
was like, fuck, man. Oh, it sounds so much better now that you put the
Yeah.
silencer in. He's like, yeah, I can finally hear the radio again. Fuck.
But he was like, he was the cool dude at the shop, because he was like, whatever, 27, 28, like, just got his car. I think Trina had like co-signed on it or some shit, because he couldn't even get the credit for it.
Yeah.
Like, it was this weird kind of like, he was just on the come up and starting to make some cash, but it was like, he had all the cool shit.
Yeah.
And
Toys.
I met him via working on his jobs, where the manager started getting mad because he was just clicking hours because I was sitting there taking doors apart.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, all right, cool, I got a minion.
Yeah. He still, like, I'm not going to say treats stuff like that, but, like, he still uses his apprentices effectively like that.
Yeah.
When he worked at, not Craftsman, the one before, when he worked at the Dodge dealership,
Mhm.
his apprentice Taylor, so Tim was flat rate, Taylor was straight time.
Mhm.
And I would come in, like, because I had time off, and we still do it to this day. Anytime I have time off, I go and I grab lunch with him.
Yeah.
It's just like a thing that we do.
Mhm.
And I would go in and I would hang out and I would meet all the people and whatever. Shake babies, kiss hands.
Nice.
Yeah. And I was like, you know, how's the situation here? He's like, man, it's so good. I was like, I just made blah, 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 blah hours this month. I was like, that's not even fucking possible.
Right.
He's like, no. Taylor's doing these block sides for me. I was like, what? He's like, he gets paid straight time. I'm all
Wow.
flat rate over here. I'm just like teaching him because he's my apprentice.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I wish I had a good apprentice.
Well, I've never, like, I've had one for sure. That's the kid that actually took over that job in my last shop. I was pretty stoked on, because they brought that shitty 32 in.
Yeah,
I just didn't
whatever
touch it.
happened with that thing?
The apprentice did it. He actually knocked it out of the park.
Yeah?
I just left it. I primed, like, the doors in the trunk, and I was like, I can't actually do this. Like, that's where it was. Where it was like, I can't. Like, I don't. I will not let my first 32 Ford be a shitty fiberglass gloss black, just not going anywhere.
Yeah, so, for those of you who don't know, the reproduction fiberglass bodies that go into lots of kit cars and hot rods are like well over a quarter inch of fiberglass. None of the gaps are right. None of the finish of the fiberglass panels are ever done well. And I rolled in to help you with your seats, which we still haven't done.
We still haven't.
Yeah. So I roll in, and I was like, yo, is that a 32? And you're like, yeah. And I could just tell by the look on your face that you weren't having any of it.
No, man.
I was like, is that fiberglass? And you're like, yeah.
Well, and the other thing from the paint side is fiberglass creates a static charge. At which point, every piece of dust in the filthy fucking shop and booth gets attracted to the piece that you're spraying, and it's impossible to keep clean, or next to impossible, and you have to do like 3x the cleaning and maintenance and all of that on it. And it's just a misery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it was just like, that's a dream, not a dream job, but like a job that I'm very passionate about wanting to do at some point.
Do with the skill
Yeah.
and technique that you know you have.
Exactly.
And that job deserves.
Yeah.
The other thing too is a lot of people don't know that fiberglass is still somewhat porous, even though they use a catalyzed resin that is like ostensibly a gel coat.
Yeah.
It's still very, very porous, and you need to do quite a bit of filler work in order to get it straight, and a heavy, heavy priming.
And multiple priming.
Multiple priming.
Like, you need to at least be priming twice, if not 4 times.
Yeah.
If it's a good kit, you can get away with 2.
Yeah.
But you're talking 3, 4.
I love talking to guys about who, again, with the tuner thing and how I hated tuners. Like, working at where we work now, it was like, I had done maybe 1 body kit ever before that, and then I had done, like, I couldn't even count how many body kits I've done now. But guys would come in and like, yeah, I just got this, like, really nice body kit. I just want to get the body work done. I just want to get it painted and fitted and blah, blah, blah. Like, how much did you pay for your body kit? I spent a lot of money on it. I'm like, oh, yeah? Because in my mind, when somebody says I spent a lot of money on a body kit, that checks the box, like, high-end kit, something that's been pre-fit to a car and fabbed for a car. This is going to go well. And then their answer is like over $500. And that is instantly like the bottom of the barrel, lowest of the low. This kit is going to fit like shit. And I'm like, I'm not talking like, ooh, it's a little wavy. Ooh, there's some exposed fiberglass. I'm talking like you have to trim an inch off either side. Or you have to like
add filler
fill like a 1/4 inch gap because it doesn't actually line up with the body, with the body panels that it's supposed to be. And then it's like fill it, prime it, block it, prime it again, fit it again, and then paint it, then mount it. You know,
and hope all of that went well enough that you can redo it on a whim.
Yeah, or the worst part is, hope it doesn't crack when you install it.
Yeah.
Because that's always the piss off. And I remember this guy came through, he actually paid a moderate high dollar for a car, for his kit. And it was,
Are we talking like $4?
no, $450.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
No, Buffy.
He had a beige IS 300. Like, kind of the bubble shaped ones, like mid-2000s.
Yeah, I like that car.
07.
Yeah.
Really nice car. Really nice car. Decent kit. It was still a garbage kit. He's paid like, I think it was $1,200 is what he said he paid for it. It took a lot of fitting, but not the shitty kind of fitting that I was used to at that point. And it fit up really nice, and the color matched perfect because it was that like metal flake beige that they had.
Yeah.
And really nice color. Looked really good on the car with the suspension and the wheels, and the guy had taste, and it all worked out really well.
Yeah.
I saw it the next summer, and the bumper was just blown apart. He had one fucking pothole, and it just like ruined his life. And I remember seeing it, and I the funny thing it was the rear bumper, and I remember seeing the car coming, and I was like, I told my girlfriend, I was like, oh, I put the body kit on that car. She's like, oh, that looks really nice, and then it drives past like, I was like, oh, fuck me. She's like, what? She's like, oh no. It's like watching some beautiful woman walk by you and then you see that she shit her pants.
Yeah. Oh, I've got a good fucking bar story about that one.
Ooh.
So working at Union, working the door at Union. And this is the end of the night, so it's like 2 a.m. And the thing that smartens you up to how filthy fucking a creature that a woman is, if you've not
gross.
lived with one, is working at the bar and having to clear the female bathroom. It is a fucking war zone.
I've heard stories.
It's not okay what they do in there.
What bothers me is that a lot of women's bathrooms, at least the ones that I have been in, have a couch in them.
Yeah, no, it's a pretty nice little pit stop area.
I get it, because they gotta wait. Like,
for sure.
For men, you walk in, you piss, whatever.
Grab a mint, fist bump on your way out, later, bro.
Whatever. The guy squirts the little,
Maybe gives you a little shoulder to shoulder one.
Yeah, and then on the belt, one for the ladies. It's all good.
That's right. Yeah. Upstairs, downstairs. Give me a little bit of this. Here's a dime. And you walk out the door. I understand that women need a place to sit and relax and wait for their opportunity.
Yeah.
If you will. But who the fuck? Just come on.
Oh no, it's a disaster, man. Like, it's brutal. But yeah, so I'm standing at the door, and all of a sudden I'm like, what the fuck is that smell? And like my girlfriend and my girlfriend at the time and my sister are like standing there with me, and they're like, what the fuck? And I'm like, you guys are smelling that, right? And they're like, yeah. I was like, maybe the sewer's backed up. Like, I couldn't figure it out. And like all three of us almost turned at the same time, and I'll never forget. It was this like ruched beige dress. It was a skin tight dress, but it had like ruching all through the midsection. And I turn around, and from her shoulder blades down to her thighs were just coated in shit.
Oh!
And I'm like, no! Oh no! And I get on the mic, I'm like, someone check the women's bathroom. And they're like, why? I'm like, someone check the women's bathroom. And all you hear on the mic is, good God, what happened? I'm like, she's out front. I don't know how bad it went, but someone needs to come deal with this. Oh, it was disgusting. And she was like wobbling, sitting, like she was sitting on the curb, like just side to side, just done.
It's gross because I think women are amazing and beautiful.
I know,
it
right?
Just, totally ruins them.
No.
I mean, it'll do.
Corey's blushing a little bit. He's like,
I could use that. Don't worry.
There's no wrong answers here for Corey.
I'm gonna cut this. I'm gonna just start recording again.
Good, 'cause I rock this.